Yeah. So these are the Eastern Ghats we talk about. Now, they stretch from the Mahanadi. Where is Mahanadi? Which state? Mahanadi, where ma? Which state?
You can guess at least.
Yes, children, you are in India. You should know. Amma?
Madhya Pradesh.
Eastern Ghats, I'm saying.
Odisha.
Very good. You should guess like that. Eastern Ghats is east, Western Ghats is west. So it starts from Mahanadi Valley to the Nilgiris. Nilgiris are in Tamil Nadu. So that is a stretch, okay, in the south. They are discontinuous, irregular, and dissected by the rivers draining into the Bay of Bengal. Like I told you, Western Ghats are the continuous ones, but whereas they are discontinuous, irregular, and always they are dissected by the rivers which are draining into the Bay of Bengal. All the rivers join the Bay of Bengal. The Ghats join the hills of Chota Nagpur Plateau on the north and Nilgiris on the south. The Eastern Ghats will be joined with the Chota Nagpur Plateau in the north and with the Nilgiris in the south. The highest peak is Mahendragiri, located in the Ganjam district of Orissa. So there you have two, Doda Betta, and then you have the other one. What is the other one I said? Highest peak in the Peninsular Plateau is? Just now I said, which is the highest peak in the Peninsular Plateau? Children.
Ma'am discussed in just in the previous slide.
That's what I said. Just now I said. Okay, I'll give you the hint. Kerala state I said.
Hindi Anaimudi, ma'am.
Anaimudi. Anaimudi in Annamalai Hills in Kerala is the highest peak in the Peninsular Plateau. And Doda Betta is the highest peak in Ooty in Nilgiris. Okay, here it is, the highest peak is Mahendragiri, which is located in the Ganjam district of Orissa. Okay, the most prominent hills of the Eastern Ghats are the Nallamalais. You must have heard about the Nallamalai hills. Then Velikondas and the Palakondas situated in the Kadapa and the Kurnool districts of Andhra Pradesh. Okay, the extensions of the Ghats in further south are called as the Pachimalai and Shavarai of Tamil Nadu. All these are found in Tamil Nadu only. Javadi hills are located to the southeast of the Eastern Ghats. Okay, Shavarai and Javadi hills are usually found in Tamil Nadu. So Eastern Ghats is much easier. You don't have much to remember. Only you have to remember the Mahendragiri. Then you have to learn the various prominent hills. What are they? Nallamalais, Velikondas, and the Palakondas. When you talk about, even we talk about even Tirupati also comes in this only. In Tirupati is also located in one of the Eastern Ghats regions only. Okay. Then you have the extensions are called as the Pachimalai and the Shavarai of Tamil Nadu, and the Javadi hills are located southeast of the Eastern Ghats. This is what you learn about the Eastern Ghats and the Western Ghats. Am I clear? Next, what are the features? Now coming to the features is that the most important thing is the black soil area known as a Deccan Trap. Just now I gave you the example. They are called as a Deccan Trap. Okay, they are of volcanic origin and hence they are also called as igneous. As these rocks are formed because of the volcanic activity, they are called as the igneous rocks. They have been denuded over time and are responsible for the formation of the black soil. What is denudation means? Actually, during the time of, you call it as a rocks. Now, there are certain characteristic features for the rocks is that during the time of the summer, they expand. And during the during the rainy season, they contract. So when they are contracting during the rainy season, the water enter into these particular cracks. So they cause a pressure by which they break into pieces, and in course of time, that means some millions of years it take, where these particular rocks will form into soil. That is called as denudation and weathering. It's a system, or it's a feature of the geographical features, you call it as denudation and weathering. So during the time of the summer season, they expand, and during the time of the rainy season, they contract. In this expansion and contraction, they develop the cracks, break into small pieces, and these rocks in course of time will become pebbles. The pebbles will course of time will become soil. This is how the black soil has come into existence. So denudation and weathering are important features which will bring about all these changes in the rocks. Am I clear? So these rocks have been denuded over the time and they're responsible for the formation of the black soil. The Aravalli Hills lie in the western and the northern margins of the plateau. So the Aravallis form the part of the Deccan Plateau or the Peninsular Plateau. These are highly eroded hills and are found as broken hills extending from Gujarat to Delhi in a southwest to northeast direction. So they are eroded hills. Don't worry about all this. You have to mainly know about their igneous rocks, black soil, then the Aravallis will be forming here. These parts you will be learning. Okay. Then coming to the Indian desert, that is a Thar desert. That is, the Indian desert lies to the western margins of the Aravalli Hills, that is Rajasthan. It is undulating sandy plain covered with sand dunes. Sand dunes is that where they are appearing in the form of a layer like this, they will be appearing. It has arid climate. With arid climate means where there is no rain at all. Arid is that. Okay. With low vegetation cover, natural, when there is no rain, you don't have any vegetation also, and receives low rainfall below 150 millimeters per year. So you can imagine there is no water only over there. Streams appear during the rainy season and disappear into the sand. What are they called as, man? The water which appears in this? In Telugu also you can say, if you say, or English also you can say. We call them as endamavulu. You know that?
Manisha answered, rage.
Good, Manisha. That is, as if it will appear that water is there, but when you go there, you don't see any water over there. This is the most important feature of the deserts. Luni is the only large river. That means in Rajasthan, the entire Thar desert, you have only one river, that is the Luni river. Barchans is the crescent shaped. You find the dunes in this manner. You have seen the crescent shaped moon, no? So all these, they are called as Barchans. This is a question asked in UPSC. I have seen that also. What are Barchans? They are the crescent shaped dunes which are covering large areas. The entire sand in the Thar desert will appear in the form of a crescent. Okay, they are called as Barchans. Remember, this is the feature of the Thar desert. So you can see this. These are all the areas. You can see how the things, this is what you call it as crescent shape. This is the Barchan. Okay, they appear in this manner only. This is the Indian desert you can find. Okay, then coming to the coastal plains, the next important feature of this entire we talk about is the western coastal plain, eastern coastal plain. The coastal plain, that means when you're talking about western coastal plain, I'm talking from Gujarat to Kerala. Okay, so Gujarat you have, then you have Goa, then you have next state below that. Let me see your geography. I said Gujarat. Below Gujarat you have Goa. Below Goa, children, you are going to write UPSC if you don't know the geography of India. How, children? Eh? Okay.
Below Goa, what is the state?
What is the state, ma?
Karnataka.
Very good. Below Karnataka?
It's a Kerala.
And then why are you so doubting so much yourself, children?
No, I'm just remembering, like, I mean, it's a...
Okay. Gujarat, Goa, Karnataka, Kerala.
Kamla ma'am, it's very important now to keep an atlas or map.
That's what, it's better they should have a atlas
map
or
and India map. Please hang it in front of you so that, while doing your work, your other study, at least you will be looking at it and identifying.
You should be able to tell that map pointing. If you don't know the map pointing, children, it is very difficult to understand the concept. If you know the states, you can imagine very fast. Imagination comes very fast when you have the India map in your mind. You should have this map in your mind by this time. So much you have to study. Right from 3rd class, you have this. From 4th class, you have physical features. 4th class, you have 6th class, you have 9th class, you have, by this time, you should have mastered it. India map, you should know, children. We start the India map in 3rd class, marking the states. First, you start with the states, no? So you should know that, children. Okay, so the coastal plain is narrow and uneven and interspersed by the hilly terrain. So it starts from Gujarat and goes up till Kerala. That is western coastal plain. Okay, it is narrow plain and sandwiched between the Western Ghats and the Arabian Sea. So when you're marking the map, how do you do it? Is that Arabian Sea is here, then you have the Western Ghats. So in between it is there. So it's a very narrow plain, you call it as. It consists of the 3 sections. Most importantly is that they will ask you this. They will ask you what is Konkan. Konkan coast it is called as. The northern part of the coast is called as the Konkan coast. That is Mumbai to Goa is called as Konkan coast. That means the entire western coastal plain is divided to 3 again. So Konkan coast. The central stretch in between you have, it is called as a Kannad plain. Okay. And the southern stretch is referred to as the Malabar coast, which is near Kerala. Am I clear?
Very easy to remember.
Very easy to remember.
Karnataka, Kerala. Maharashtra, Karnataka.
Only 3. That's all we have. Nothing else. Above that, nothing is there. So Mumbai, Goa, then Kannad plain, then you have the Malabar coast. So what is the most important thing you river in western coastal plain is that it is a narrow plain. It is lying between the Arabian Sea and the Western Ghats. So it is very narrow. Divided to 3 parts: Konkan, Kannad, Malabar. Okay. Then we'll go to the eastern coastal plain. Eastern coastal plain starts from Odisha to Tamil Nadu. They consist of the most fertile, it is very wider. Eastern coastal plains are wider and flat compared to the western coastal plains. Always it's a comparative, always they ask in the MCQs also, they can ask you the comparison between eastern and western coastal plains. This is narrow, this is wide. Okay, and this is uneven and interspersed by hilly terrain, whereas it is a most fertile and well-watered. The most important feature of eastern coastal plain is the delta. Deltas are not there in western coastal plain. They are there only in eastern coastal plain. Krishna, Godavari, Mahanadi, all these are deltas, which you don't find in western coastal plain. Okay. Then in the northern part, it is referred to as the northern Sarkars. Okay. It is referred to as a northern Sarkar. Southern part is called as the Coromandel coast, which you have this in Tamil Nadu. You have even Sarojini Naidu's poem is also there. Coromandel fishermen. There is a poem also, very beautiful poem she has written about this Coromandel fishers or something. I'm not able to remember. Rivers like Godavari, Mahanadi, Krishna and Kaveri have found extensive deltas. I told you that only just now. Godavari delta, Mahanadi, Krishna, Kaveri, all these have found extensive deltas. So Godavari Krishna is in Telangana. That means it flows in all the states almost. Okay, Mahanadi is in Odisha. Then you have the Kaveri is in Tamil Nadu. So the water of Kaveri is shared by Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Remember that point. Okay, Godavari Krishna is shared by Telangana, Andhra, Maharashtra, all the 3 states. Okay, Mahanadi is shared with I think with Maharashtra and other states. Okay, Chilika Lake is an important feature along the eastern coast. You must have heard about Chilika Lake. It is a saltwater lake also. It is called as a saltwater lake. Chilika Lake is called, or a freshwater lake. I'm not able to collect. I'll just not want to say that. Am I clear with this? Okay. Yes, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Then this is the Konkan coast, this is the Annamalai Hills. Then you have the backwaters of Kerala. Most important feature is that this is a lagoon also. These are all formed in coastal plains, eastern coastal plains you find mostly. Okay. Then you have the Nallamalais. Then you have the Dodabetta Peak. You can see this is the Palakonda Hills, you call it as. Okay. Then comes the 2 last features, we call it as the Lakshadweep Islands and then the Andaman and the Nicobar Islands. Children make a mistake in writing this. It is Lakshadweep Islands. Laksha is 1 lakh. Dweep means islands. So Dweep, remember that. They always mix up that spelling. It is Lakshadweep Islands. Okay. They are very close to the Malabar coast of Kerala. They are very near to Kerala. They are composed of coral islands. That means you find all those corals in this only. You call it as the corals you must be knowing. They are in orange in color. Pagadal we call it as. You also get the pearls also from here only. They are all made up of coral islands actually. Earlier they were known as the Laccadive, Minicoy, Amandine. This is also you have to remember. Earlier they were called as Laccadive, Minicoy and Amandine. These are the names earlier. In 1963, they were called, 1973, they were renamed as Lakshadweep Islands. Instead of using so many names, they made it as 1 name. It covers an area of 32 square kilometers. Kavaratti Island, this is the capital of Lakshadweep. It is administrative headquarters. This island group has great diversity of flora and fauna. Lots of flowers, lots of animals are found. Wildlife is also found. The Pitti Island, this is also very important to remember. It is an uninhabited. There is no single human being which lives in this island. It is a bird sanctuary, totally uninhabited. No one is there in this particular island at all. This is the Lakshadweep Islands. Then you can see
Manisha
this.
I have a question. How are these islands formed?
How are these islands formed? It is nothing like that. We cannot give an explanation as that. These are all the natural things which have been formed. Okay. These are all the natural features that have been formed. Okay.
A little part of the land which is above the water.
That's what.
Surrounded by water.
That's what we can give this. You did not go into that. Actually, nobody asked that particular question as such. These are all, you can talk about Himalayas, you can talk about other things, but this doesn't come as such. Okay, ma? So these are the Lakshadweep Islands. Okay. Then you have the Andaman and the Nicobar Islands. How many of you have visited Andaman and Nicobar? Anyone here? They are supposed to be very beautiful, I heard. Okay. Okay. They are an elongated chain of islands located in the Bay of Bengal, extending from north to south. They are in the Bay of Bengal. They are bigger in size, more numerous, and scattered compared to the Lakshadweep Islands. The entire group of islands are divided into two. Actually, there are two groups of islands, Andaman in the north and Nicobar in the south. Remember the directions. These are elevated portion of submarine mountains. Okay, now you got the answer also. They are an elevated portion of the submarine mountains. That means they have been lifted. Okay, elevated portion they are called as. These island groups are of strategic importance. This is okay. There is also great diversity of flora and fauna in the group of islands, and they are very close to the equator and experience equatorial climate and as thick forest cover. Nothing much to learn about it. So these are the Andaman and the Nicobar Islands, we call it as. Very beautiful scenes you can find here in this. And I think there is one volcano in this, I think in Andaman. I'm not able to get the name for this. Barren Island. Okay. India only active volcano is found in Barren Island in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Okay. There is one volcano which is not active now. Okay. I think I have done with that.